Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm Alex Sanchez. Jenny is out of the studio today, but do not worry. We have a packed show for you guys this week. We have some big news coming out of last week. I'm talking the conference tournament down in Kansas City. Our BCU analyst, Jon Walker, is at Carson's Bar and Grill with our Northwest basketball team awaiting their regional seeding. We're throwing it over to you, Jon.
Alex, thanks. Yeah, we're here at Carson's. The Northwest men's basketball team is awaiting their regional seeding behind me. But for now, let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at what they did this last weekend. The Cats were ready to get things rolling on Thursday, their first matchup against Emporia State. Tight contest, but Joey Witt is able to knock down the shot there, gets the foul on it, and he's going to go to the line to add another. Deep in this one, and Julius Jackson from Emporia State gets the three to go with just a couple of seconds left. Hawkins is able to extend the lead to three, and then to no avail for Emporia State. The half-court heave is tipped by the Bearcats, and they survive a close one. Head to Saturday, matchup against Lincoln. Lincoln got out to a hot start, but then Diego Bernard and Trevor Hudgens able to get a couple of buckets back-to-back on the next few possessions and put Northwest ahead of them. There was no looking back for Northwest, however, as the shots continued to fall in the second half and they ran away with that game against the Blue Tigers. Fast forward to Championship Sunday, Northwest against Washburn, the 1-2 matchup for a fairy tale ending in the tournament. Javion Blake gets Washburn on the board with a three to start that game. And a couple of possessions later, Trevor Hudgens gives the Bearcats the lead. Fast forward a little bit in that game, and Joey Withis gets things going with a floater of his own. An emphatic dunk by Diego Bernard, and that gave the Bearcats the eruption they needed to be champions of the MIAA. So yeah, Alex, that was just a look at what they did over this last weekend. Make sure to come back here in a couple of minutes. I will be joined by senior Joey Withis for a couple of words.
Right now, let's take a look at how the softball team is doing this season. Our reporter Dylan Johnson caught up with the team on their performance and how they handled the Maryville weather. Dylan?
The Northwest softball team is 12 games into their season. The Cats didn't have the start they wanted with a 3-9 record, but look to improve their play in games to come. I talked to junior third baseman Erin Keeney about how the season has gone so far.
We've hit some rough patches, and I think we're working through those right now, though. And last game, we really did good and came together as a team.
Keeney believes the team can improve one aspect of their play to increase their success this season.
Hitting together. I think there was a lot of times right now where people are getting on base, but we can't get that hit to score them.
Unfortunately, due to the unpredictable Maryville weather, the Cats have yet to play ball on their own field. The packed field has led to 2 cancellations already this season.
It's awful. It's been very cold, but you got to do what you got to do. Cancellations suck, but you can't control it.
The schedule shows games that would be played in Maryville and St. Joseph in the next few weeks. If the field remains white, the green and gray have plan Bs just in case.
With home games, we'll probably try and postpone it since we want that home field advantage. But with St. Joe, I wouldn't be surprised if we try and move it.
Whether a snow-covered field or green grass is in the outfield, the Cats will not let these setbacks alter their team goals.
Just being a team, being cohesive, and really working together this year.
The Bearcats continue to practice at a high level despite game day cancellations. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Dylan Johnson.
The girls traveled down to Oklahoma this weekend to play 4 games. Day 1, the Cats took on number 8 Central Oklahoma in a doubleheader. After the Broncos went up 17 runs, the girls could not keep up and fell to game 1, 3-17. In game 2, Northwest was the first to score, but again could not hold the Broncos and fell 7-1. On Friday, the girls took on Northeastern State in another doubleheader. The girls could not find a rhythm and got shut out in game 1, 0-6. A solo run thanks to Carly Allen would not be enough for the girls in game 2, also dropping to Northeastern State 1-10. Up next, the girls have 2 doubleheaders scheduled, Friday against Southwest Baptist and Saturday taking on Central Missouri. As of now, the games are scheduled to be on our Maryville fields, but we will have to see how the weather cooperates. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We have more Northwest sports up next. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. We're going to send it back to our BCU analyst, Jon Walker, to check in on the Northwest basketball team. John, how's it going?
Alex, thanks once again. We are here at Carson's, joined by senior Joey Wittes. Joey has been tremendous for Coach Mack's team this year, so Joey, we'll just hop straight into it. You were the MIAA Conference Tournament Most Outstanding Player. Put that into words, what this means for you in your senior year.
Yeah, it's just, it was such a fun tournament and stuff, and, it's been a great season so far, and, those awards and stuff that, I've gotten and stuff this year, I kind of see it as a team award where, none of this would be possible without my coaches, just the community and my teammates and stuff. The way that we play on offense, especially, is so unselfish. It's a unique team, just a fun group of guys to play with.
And then, as much fun as it's been all year, you guys have been so dominant against nearly everybody. Does that kind of solidify the target on your back going into the regional?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially lately and stuff, we've had a couple close games, especially against Emporia and then Missouri Western on senior night. So I think those were really good for us just to grow and mature and be in some of those close games. And then going through this tournament and stuff, just having that playoff-like atmosphere was good for us.
Okay. And then just quickly, coming down the home stretch of your senior year, is this one bittersweet for you?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's crazy that it's all coming to an end soon and stuff, but, we're going to, make it as far as we can in the playoffs and, go from there.
Okay. Joey, thank you for joining us today. Alex, they're still awaiting their regional announcement, but for now, I'll send this one back to you.
Our Northwest football team is in the prime of their spring conditioning. The boys are looking forward to spring ball and look to take their preparation here to yet another record season by the Cats. Our reporter Jacob Barnes headed to the weight room to talk with the team. Jacob?
I recently caught up with GA football trainer Case Newcomb to ask him about the importance of off-season workouts.
Well, it's very important as far as building strength and building speed, all the things you're going to need. I mean, that transfers over to the football field, so it's very important for football players to be in the weight room religiously.
On the topic of building trust with the players, here's what he had to say.
It's huge. I mean, at the end of the day, like wins and losses, all that stuff, it comes and goes. I mean, the season's in, the guys I'm sure will remember, a lot of that stuff, but eventually those things kind of fade away with time, but, the relationships are the things that last the longest. And, for us, it's just showing the guys that you care. The biggest thing that for me is building relationships is just talking with them, showing them that I care, making an effort. When they see you, a lot of these guys, it's not their job to come up and talk to me every day. It's my job to go up, talk to them, keep them invested in the weight room, keep them invested in me a little bit too, that show them that I care enough to, that I want to talk to each day to build that relationship.
Newcomb has high hopes and expectations for the Northwest football team this upcoming fall.
These guys are talented, and the guys backing them up are talented, so I think next year we could have a really good season. So I'm intrigued to see what happens, especially with the rest of this spring and the summer, to see how we can develop, and then going into the fall. So I'm excited to see what we do, that's for sure.
I'm Jacob Barnes with Bearcat Update. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Jacob. I'm getting news that they are getting ready to announce the Northwest regional seeding. John, we're going to send it over to you. What are they saying?
Yeah, Alex, it was just announced that Northwest is what some would say shockingly the one seed in the Central region. They will have a first-round matchup with Minnesota State Mankato. I am joined with assistant coach Zach Schneider, so we will just hop straight into this. How does it feel to be able to face Minnesota State again?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was kind of expecting Wayne State or Southeastern Oklahoma, just with their performances in the conference tournament, but, we'll play whoever. We're pretty confident in our team and who we got. Obviously, going back to Minnesota State, we played them last year and it didn't go the way we wanted, but we weren't full strength. It's a program we're familiar with. We scrimmage them. I played against them quite a bit when I was a player and knocked them out of the tournament 2 years in a row. And obviously, they got us last year, so we'll be looking forward to revenge.
Looking for revenge on them. If you guys happen to move past the first round and beat Minnesota State, you guys have probably already started scouting a little bit, but what are some potential matchups that you're looking forward to as a coach in this region?
Yeah, no official scouting, but throughout the year we've been just scoreboard watching and checking out other games. So, I mean, the region's tough. The Central Region's had a team in the national championship for the last 5 years, and 3 of them have won it. So, any team we play is going to be super talented, and obviously we're familiar with Washburn and Southern, and then played Northern the first game of the year. So, we'll be ready for anybody.
Okay. Coach, thanks for joining us today. That's going to wrap things up here from Carson's. Alex, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, John. I'm looking forward to yet another regional tournament here in Maryville after a tough loss to the end of the season last year, and the team this year already making history. I'm sure the team doesn't plan to stop anytime soon. Now let's take a look at some of the results from this past week. After a canceled game against Rockers because of the weather last Tuesday, our Northwest baseball team had a successful weekend sweeping the Southwest Bearcats in 3 games. Then in all 3 games, the Cats would rally. Trevor Dudar taking the mound in every game, recording 3 additional saves coming back home to Maryville. With these 3 wins, the Cats sit at 5th in conference with a 5-4 record. The Cats plan on a home game this Tuesday, taking on Avila, followed by a 3-game series against Pitt State Gorillas in Kansas Friday through Friday. The Cats plan on a home game this Tuesday, taking on Avila, followed by a 3-game series against the Pitt State Gorillas in Kansas Friday through Sunday. The men and women's tennis teams also closed this week with great team wins. Wednesday, the team headed to Liberty, Missouri to take on William Drew Cardinals, sweeping all of their matches, both men and women, 7-0. Friday, the women headed down to Springfield to take on Arkansas Tech. The women kept it close, taking the #1 match with Tanya Terrell. A couple more singles matches and doubles finishing 4-3. The Cats drove back up north on Saturday to Red Oak, Iowa to compete against Oklahoma Baptist. Both the men and women's teams again take the day with 6-1 wins. The Cats will be heading to Fulton, Missouri on Wednesday to take on William Woods, followed by matches hosted by Northwest on Saturday against Harding and Sunday against Emporia State. Our track and field team headed over to Kansas this weekend to compete at the Division II Nationals. We sent 7 athletes to compete in 11 events, and 2 of them left as All-Americans. Kevin Schultz won All-American, taking 3rd in the heptathlon after the 2nd place tiebreaker. He also finished 2nd in the high jump. Omar Austin became an All-American after finishing 8th in the 400 meter with a final time of 47.70. The men's 4x4 finished 11th. Marcus Klein took 13th in the long jump. Kareem Achengli taking 9th in the 5,000 meter run. Our Northwest men's team finished 17th overall in team standings with 15 points. Kevin Schultz racking out 14 of those, with Omar taking the 1 other point. Jordan Hammond finished 10th overall in the pentathlon and 14th in the 60-meter hurdles. Mercedes Isaacson covered, placing 10th in the long jump and 13th in the triple jump. The team making history in their indoor season will begin to prepare for their outdoor season. Their first meet will be the Emporia State Relays on March 30th. Although the Northwest Spring Sports are inching into conference play, our Northwest basketball team is propelling themselves off the conference tournament to host another regional tournament. I'm sure the entire town of Maryville will be packing the Cat on Saturday to create yet another crazy game for the Cats in round 1. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can follow us on Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8 or watch all of our previous episodes on YouTube at KNWT8. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can watch last week's episode up here and all previous episodes down here.